Going to do the first bits, about the first 20 minutes is a gentleman from Texas um, with Keller Williams International. He's going to talk about a little bit what it's like to be a real estate agent. His name's Jason Abrams. We have a cool little video from him. If you ever join Keller Williams, you'll definitely know Jason Abrams' name very quickly. Um, and he actually has a really great podcast, the MREA podcast. It's directed towards real estate agents, but people from any career could actually learn quite a bit from it. So if you're into podcasts, you may want to check out the MREA podcast. But let me get that video started for y'all, and then we'll get into questions and answers and all kinds of fun stuff here real shortly. If I can find the video, sorry.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jason.
Hold on, Jason. Not you, the other Jason. Sorry. Hopes a few people online can see it. Share, and make sure you have sound. All right. As soon as I start this up, if somebody online will give me a thumbs up if you hear Jason Abrams talking.
Jason Abrams, and I'm coming to you from Austin, Texas.
Awesome. Thanks, y'all.
I'm speaking today from the Win-Win Studios at the home of Keller Williams, KWRI. I want to congratulate you. As a matter of fact, I want to thank you and congratulate you because you are here today, and it's so important that you are. Today, you're going to understand by the end of this why I believe that residential, commercial, real estate in general is the single greatest industry on the planet. And what you did, I don't know if you realize it, but you're all already almost there. You see, so much in life is simply about showing up. And however you got here today was the perfect way. Because somehow, in this crazy universe of ours, we ended up here together and you ended up in the right place at the right time. You see, so much of life is all about timing. The problem is we tend to miss some of the most important events because the world around us is going so fast and there's so many things to distract us. So before we start, and by the way, I won't keep you for an hour. This is going to be a short 20-minute discussion, but here's what I would ask. Let's give me 100% of your focus. Now, once you do that, it's on me to earn it and keep it. I promise you, I have something up my sleeve. But let's forget about the drama of the world. Let's forget about the pressures of the universe. Let's forget about whether or not you have enough money in your bank account. Let's forget whether or not you have enough time to be here. And most importantly, let's forget whatever happened right before this appointment, because that doesn't matter. The question that you and I are here to solve is what's going to happen exactly after this appointment. You see, the reason that the rear view mirror is smaller than the windshield is because we'd like you to spend more time looking forward in life. That's what this entire conversation is going to be about. Here's what Gary Keller teaches us. Now, you're going to hear that name kind of throughout the day today. Not only is he my mentor, but he is the person that helped put models and systems into the real estate industry such that all of us could have the things that we want. You see, Gary would tell you that leadership is simply teaching people how to think, so that they do the things they need to do when they need to do them, so that they can have the things they want when they want to have them. And what he teaches us is that real estate is a local business driven by local relationships. He also says that all answers in life, the good ones anyway, are found in the most simplistic forms. The challenge is everything naturally wants to become more complicated, but all success is always found in simplicity. So today I'm going to try to break down in really short order the real estate business in general, and then I'm going to invite you to live the life that you deserve to have. Because here's the truth. We believe at Keller Williams in a very strict culture code. I use the word strict not because it's enforced with some sort of heavy hand, but because the ideals that set us apart, that we hold good and true for all people, we believe are good and true, not just in business, but in life as well. These things are in a very prescribed order: God, family, and business. You see, we believe that when we put the person together, the rest of the universe falls into place. So why residential real estate, you ask? Because we wake up every day and we simply ask the question, how many people do we get to help today? You see, homes are different than almost any other commodity. Nobody goes home at night and curls up with their stock and bond portfolio. They just don't. But they do curl up in their homes. As a matter of fact, the same kitchens that you have your best moments in, think of yours, are the same ones that you also might have some of your cries in. The same backyards where you see somebody take their first steps might be the same backyard where you throw that first football pass. And at the end of the day, the house, the home, becomes the backdrop for our lives. So we have an opportunity to go out and help other people find the backdrop for their life. The truth is, residential real estate or commercial real estate or any real estate that you decide to practice is an absolute increment part of the economy. 26% of all the wealth in these United States anyway is tied up in the equity in people's houses. So who do you think protects that equity? Friends, the first real estate agents got together in 1891. Since then, real estate agents have been helping people purchase what usually is the most expensive liquid asset that they're going to have. We help people get over the fear of the unknown. We help people find the place where they're going to have their greatest moments. And in this way, we wake up every day and we simply ask the question, how many people do we get to help? But the truth is, most of the people that you know are going to be investing or owning real estate, whether you get a real estate license or not. You see, that's the thing about this. Ask yourself, why did you move the last time you did? Because a lot of folks get into a room like this and they say, I don't know anything about real estate. Friends, I would submit to you that you know almost everything you need to know about real estate. And all we're going to be doing is filling in some of the details. Why did you move the last time you moved? I'll tell you, for me, it was because I had a life event. That's why people move. They get a job, they lose a job, they find love, they get divorced, they have a kid, they become an empty nester. These are the reasons. They get rich, they get poor. We could go on, but this is what precipitates a move. And most people don't just move once. They move multiple times during their lives. We have this great illustration that I use to draw this, and it's really simple. Let's just say, for argument's sake, that way up here at this peak is when somebody moves, and of course, a real estate agent is involved. It's a great day for everybody. Housing dreams come true, real estate commissions get paid, and then this right here is the very next day. It's the very next day because they're on the bottom again, because think about you, nobody moves the day after they move because of you guys get it. But here's the thing. Every day after that, people get closer to moving again until they're right here, which is the next time they move. And then over here the next time they move. And then maybe they buy a piece of investment real estate over here. This is exactly how it goes. So the truth of the matter is, when a real estate agent becomes a fiduciary, and we're going to talk about that word in a second, we get to help people usually not just once, but 2, 3, 4, 5 times on their life journey. And again, this life journey is precipitated by the life events that they're having. The interesting thing about this, though, and you know this to be true, is the distance between people moving is about 3 to 7 years. Think about that for a second. Can you think of one other product that you've purchased where a bank or somebody else loaned you the majority of the money to do it that you then used for 7 years? And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, my car and automobiles like that. That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, that's how we define industry. They're the two most highly considered purchases for consumers, homes and automobiles. And we don't sell cars here yet. So let's stick with houses. The reason it's highly considered is because this dictates the way that people spend their time and the way that they live their lives. The home isn't simply just a thing. It's a collection of rooms located in a community. It dictates the way, all the way shopping to walking to driving to where you're going to go to school to all of the different things, which is why this is so important for people. We also know that when polled, people love looking at real estate almost more than anything else, which means you could say that looking at residential real estate in a voyeuristic way is almost the pastime of humanity, which would make sense because, let's be honest, housing is on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You see, we're hardwired as humans to want to have shelter. And as we've progressed, we want to have shelter that we like, that feels like sanctuary for us. I'm going to read you a quote from a woman named Mo Anderson, who was the CEO of this company for many, many years, talking about this thing exactly. So how do I tie this back to you? Well, here's the thing. As people get closer to needing to make this massive investment and purchase, they do business with whoever's in closest emotional proximity. And emotional proximity means closest to them at that moment, either emotionally or physically. So how do you get close to somebody emotionally? You see, there's a myth right now that some of you are thinking, which is, I'm not a salesperson. How could I possibly get into real estate sales? The truth is, every single one of you is a perfect, phenomenal salesperson. Daniel Pink wrote a book on it. It's called To Sell is Human. You've been selling people your entire life. You just may not have been selling them a product. But the fact that you're trustworthy, the fact that you have a good reputation, the fact that you want to wake up and help people, these are the things that you've been selling right now without a product. Isn't that accurate? Don't you wake up on a daily basis and influence the people closest to you to know you as a good human being? If you do, then just get really clear on the fact that you're in sales. As a matter of fact, the first person that most of us sell is ourselves, which leads us to our next myth. See, some of you are out there saying, I can't do this. Or you're saying, they won't do business with me. Or you're saying, it won't work for me. It might work for everybody else. Or you're saying, I don't want to go out and talk to strangers. Or you're saying, I'm not sure. You see, all of those things are simply a sale that you're making in your mind right now to convince you that you're not the perfect person for this. But I want to reassure you that you absolutely are. If you're the type of person that wants to wake up each day on a quest to help people, then you're a perfect person to become a real estate agent. If you're the type of person that defines their success by how others feels about their lives, then you're the perfect person to become a real estate agent. If you're looking for an absolutely limitless financial opportunity, and when I say limitless, I mean just that, then you are the perfect person to become a real estate agent. And if you'd like to wake up each day as a company of one, supported by a company of many, and make your mark on the world, then you are the perfect person to become a real estate agent. So, how does the real estate industry actually work? It's far more simple than you might be thinking. It's really broken into three parts. Over here, you have when somebody buys and sells a house. I'm going to put a dollar sign. This dotted line here, which is very close to it, denotes the period of time when the consumer gets really serious about buying or selling real estate. That's the day that they say, I'm gonna do it. The distance between this line and this point is about 10 weeks on average. Then you have this line over here, and everything to this side of it we call lead generation. What is lead generation? It's really just loving people, to be honest with you. When we lead generate, all we do is we try to find people that we can help. But here's the good news. You already have all of the people that you need to help in your life. And I'm going to prove that to you mathematically in a moment. But think about all the different ways that businesses lead generate now. You have emails, you have mail that happens, you get text messages, you get phone calls, you see TV commercials, you see billboards. I could go on and on. These are all of those things that happen here. Then this giant area in the middle is this giant period right here. It's just simply people living their lives. What real estate agents do during that period is we follow up. We stay in people's lives. We make sure that we're connected. We ask and answer any questions that they might have about real estate, and we're just generally really great stewards of our community. So there's really only three parts of the entire residential real estate business. So if you're sitting there right now and you're thinking, I don't know where to begin, and this is probably really complicated, the good news, it's actually not. It's really simple. Now, I didn't say it was easy. I said it was simple. You pretty much now understand the entire residential, commercial, vacant land, raw land, looking for entitlement, real estate business. This is all of it in a nut jar. So what happens next? Interestingly enough, if you were to go get your real estate license right now, you would start on day one with plenty of classes to take and plenty of great ideas, but you might not have any clients. When polled, the number one fear that new agents coming into the business have is, I won't have anybody to work with. I'm new and no one's going to want to work with me. And I'd like to give you permission to release from that concern, because here's something that I don't tell everybody. I was new too. As a matter of fact, every single person that's in the real estate business was new at some point. That's the great part about our business. But you already have this amazing network of people. Play along with me for a second. I'd like you to take out your cell phone. Now, don't open it up to the face pages and the Insta Twitters and all of this sort of thing. Just open up your phone and let's go through this together. I'd like you to go to your contacts. Then I'd like you to scroll all the way down to the bottom of your contacts, and what you're going to see is a number, unless you're using an Android, and then who knows what you're going to see. But for most of us, we're going to see a number. So let's take that number, that's the total number of contacts that you have in your phone, and let's write that number right here. I'm going to guess that there's some of you that have 1,000 contacts or more. Well, let's just play the game. If you have more, raise your hand if you have contacts. You're crushing it. Okay, cool. If you have more than 250, keep your hand up. More than 500. More than 1,000. If you're in a room, this is getting fun. More than 1,250. More than 1,500. And usually when I say that, that's when a bunch of the heads go down. That's why I got to 1,000. If you have more than that, you're well on your way. Now, what I want you to do is take that number and I want you to multiply it by 6%. And for those of you that are math challenged, I make no judgment, that's 0.06. And that is going to equal a number. If there's anyone in the studio that can help me with that, that would be fantastic. What might that number be? Just yell it out when you know. Kelly, Cody.
60.
60, that's fantastic. See, and this is how we all play together at Keller Williams. That's 60. Now, why did I choose 6%? Well, there's all kinds of studies that show that about 6% of the people that are currently in your phone are going to have a real estate experience, either themselves, a sibling, or a quote-unquote best friend within the next 12 months. So now let's take that number, which is 60 transactions, and let's multiply that by whatever the commission average is in your marketplace. Now, I'm going to leave this, if you're here today, you're with a team leader, and they're going to help walk you through this because commission rates vary all over the United States, prices of homes vary all over the United States, and what you're going to end up getting is a certain number. And that number is the minimum number of what you should be doing annually if you get into the real estate business, wrap your arms around the industry, and then follow up with frequency and intensity to all the people in your data bank. Now, why did I jump to a conversation about money? Well, it's really interesting. When we poll and we ask people what their biggest fear about getting into real estate is, they all say the economics. And I think people say that because, and if you didn't know this, just hold on to the seat and get tight for a second, this is an all-commission industry. This is to say that you will have an unlimited amount of earning potential. So here's the definition that I like to use around compensation. And I think this is massively important because there's a bunch of different cohorts that are watching this video right now. For some of you, you're looking for an absolutely limitless opportunity and you're going to go build your empire and riches in real estate. For others, you're just trying to do a couple extra deals a year because you're already having an amazingly big life in some other profession, and this is simply to offset. And for some of you, you haven't really given this much thought. And by the way, all of these different groups, you're perfect, and we're the perfect place for you. So how does compensation work? Well, compensation is something you get for something you give. This is widely misunderstood. Most people think they should receive before ever giving. We know that's not the case. It's something you get for something you give. It's repayment for a contribution that you make that's needed and useful. I want you to write the words needed and useful down. And let's never forget that compensation is comprised of four things. Number one, the need for your service. Friends, I'd like to address that right now. Make no mistake about it. The need for housing has never been more acute worldwide than it is today. Everybody needs what it is that we do, and we need you to be a part of it. Number two, how well you perform it. Now, how well you perform it is going to be on you, but that's why we're here. You see, we wake up every day and try to make you the best real estate agent on the planet, and we're pretty good at it. The next one is the difficulty in replacing you. And let's get really clear on that. Once you become absolute fiduciary for your people, it's going to be very difficult for anybody to replace you. And the last one is the number of people that you get to serve. See, the interesting thing about Keller Williams is we're the largest real estate company under one brand that the world has ever known. I'm going to let that sink in for a second. We're in over 50 different countries. We're really good at this. So the number of people that you're going to get to serve is going to be a bigger number than you could actually fathom right now. Because here's what I believe, and so does Gary Keller, is that the top real estate agents in the planet, the ones that are going to do the most business, they're not yet in the industry. It's actually you. You see, our industry is changing at an amazing rate, and what we're doing is actively going out and trying to find the next generation of the greatest real estate agents on the planet. That's what Keller Williams is. So now you understand compensation. You understand exactly how the real estate industry works. You understand the economics of how income comes into real estate agents. I'd like to address one more myth that you might have in your head, which is there's so much to learn, I don't know it and I won't be able to. Here's the thing. I'd like to think about this in knowledge versus wisdom. You see, I believe that we are on the quest to find both of those things at any given time. By knowledge, I'm referring to the specific intake of information. When you read a textbook, that's knowledge. When you're going to listen to the team leader in a moment, that's knowledge. You're getting pieces of information about a specific topic. Now, wisdom, I believe, is something totally different. You see, I believe that we're all born with a unique and divine soul, and within this soul, we have all of the wisdom that we're ever going to need. And in many ways, we think of this as quote-unquote common sense. And if you've been following along and you've been getting the feeling that this feels right to you, that's your wisdom. You see, life is all about finding the people that can give us the knowledge to simply unlock the wisdom that we already have inside. So when you go and you see some amazing speaker like a Gary Keller or the team leader that brought you here, and you feel something unlock, you might say, oh my gosh, I got such an insight from that person. But I'm here to tell you that's actually not right. Insight, the word itself, means you couldn't get it from outside. It's a sight from within. All you did in that moment was find somebody to unlock something that you already had. You see, that's the journey that we'll be going on together if you decide to move forward at the end of this video, because you're about to have to make a decision. The decision that you're going to get to make is whether or not the world deserves to have you be their fiduciary. It's a massive decision. You see, if you decide to become a residential real estate agent, what you're really deciding to do is go out and change as many lives and as many communities for the positive as possible. It means waking up every day and not just having a good year, but having a good career. It's as much of a calling as anything else. For some of us that have been in the business since we were kids, and I joined out of high school, I kind of think we're unemployable anywhere else. We just don't realize that until we get here. And then we look up and realize that we mark our days not by the number of phone calls that we may have made, and certainly not by the number of dollars that we acquired, but by the number of people that we got to help. You see, this idea of going out and changing the planet one homeowner at a time is something that I believe deeply in. Keller Williams came on the scene, and at that time we had office managers of all real estate companies. By the way, if you go out and you meet with other companies, you're going to meet a lot of office managers. We don't have those here. We have team leaders, and it's different. You see, office managers try to control today and try to manage the way things are. And team leaders spend all of their time thinking about the future and wake up and define their success by the speed by which you got to your success. If by any chance you've met one of these extraordinary humans, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. At the end of this video, you're going to be spending some more time with a team leader, and you're going to talk about market-specific conditions and exactly what being a real estate agent in your city, in your state, and in your country is all about. But I want you to be clear that the ideals are the same. The culture that binds us is universal. The limitless opportunity is universal. Loving people and helping people is universal. And the reason that people need our services is universal. I want to read an excerpt to you from a book called A Joy-Filled Life by Mo Anderson. When you join Keller Williams, you'll hear all about Mo. She's a very special lady. And she says, I realize now it isn't about your certification or credentials. It's more about having the ability and the passion to do something and the confidence to do it well. These qualities are just as important or even more important than a professional certification or a piece of paper saying that you took some class. Ability, passion, and confidence are what help you discover your true voice and sing your unique song for the world. I would learn this lesson again and again in all my years as a teacher. I want you to hear that, because I know that even I tried to bust the myths, but there's still some of you that don't think this is for you, or think you might not know enough, or you're saying, I can't. Friends, if I can leave you with anything, it's that every single one of you can. Everybody at Keller Williams wakes up every day and we try to help you build a big business so that you can go fund and power a big life, maybe even bigger than you've dreamed. You guys are in the right place. You're in the right time at the right company. I'm begging you, on behalf of you, take the next step and move forward with us. Come figure out what a limitless life looks like. Because here at Keller Williams, when we honor God, family, and business in that order, we find the best rendition of ourselves and the best rendition of our company. I can be completely candid with you and say we're missing something, though. The thing we're missing at KW, we're missing you. Come join us. I hope you do.
All right, so that was Jason Abrams, kind of explaining a day in the life of a real estate agent a little bit. Oh, let's switch one thing. Sorry. Switch. There we go. Hey, so I am Daniel. I am the tech trainer for Keller Williams Central. Sorry. Most of y'all have probably got emails from me. I also have Rivers and Jason here as well, who also work for the Market Center in supportive roles to help agents. And yeah, so pretty much what we're here tonight to talk about is becoming a real estate agent. In North Carolina and all the other states, you do have to take classes and test and all that fun stuff to become a real estate agent. And Keller Williams, as Jason discussed, feels like the best real estate agents in the world aren't even real estate agents right now. And we don't want the class experience to be a hurdle that keeps that people from becoming a real estate agent. So we do have a scholarship program. Yeah, with the scholarship program, 450, $500 that you would normally have to pay to take the North Carolina exam. Uh, People online, is there anybody that's not doing North Carolina? Like, is there anybody trying to do a different state than North Carolina? Fantastic. Occasionally I forget to ask that question. We're only able to support North Carolina here at this market center, but we can put people in touch with other market centers in the applicable states if need be. So the next steps as far as the scholarship program goes, and excuse all these acronyms and fun stuff that we have going. So this is broadly called our KSCORE program. Um, there are two parts to that. There is Kaplan. So whenever you hear Kaplan, that's the actual school of real estate. So whenever you're talking about signing up for classes, the required courses, that's Kaplan. We also have KW Prep, which is meant to go along with Kaplan so that as you're learning the laws of real estate, you can also learn that you're about to become a small business owner, sometimes a big business owner, and what that entails. Because we find a lot of people get caught off guard. Um, did you get caught off guard? You got caught off guard. A lot of people do. They see the HGTV version of becoming a real estate agent and forget, oh, you actually have to run a business. It's not just show 3 houses and collect a check. Um, At the same time, don't let that scare you. There's plenty of other things to scare you with real estate, but uh, yeah, it's fantastic thing. We're glad that everybody's here with us tonight with that. Um, some of you have already gotten the KW prep credentials. If you've done that, if you've done your first two modules, fantastic. We'll immediately put you into Kaplan tomorrow. Um, if you have not done the KW prep, Rivers, I think you're are you talking to people a little bit online? No? Okay, cool. If you have not done the KW prep, expect that login as well. Do the first two modules before you start doing any of the Kaplan classes. They're meant to be done previous to Kaplan, but you'll be signed up for Kaplan tomorrow as well. We'll get both of those knocked out. Trying to think housekeeping wise, what really needs to be done. If you have already signed up for a call with me, you can bail on those calls. This is the same plus a little extra. I don't show the Jason Abrams video with the calls. Now, if you still just want to participate in the call, that's fine too. Like if you think of some questions and you're like, oh man, um, I was supposed to be on at 10 a.m. tomorrow anyway, or something like that. Anyway, so without further ado, I'm going to drag our Jason up here, Jason Scott. He is the broker in charge of Keller Williams Central. I'd say, what do you think? Favorite person? Maybe I'd say favorite person in the market center. I drag him up here because he is not only a real estate agent, but again, the broker in charge. So whenever it comes down to questions, he is definitely the right person to give those answers to. We'll turn that for you. And give us 2 seconds. We're kind of moving some stuff around in here. I'm also going to adjust the mic because it's feedback and just a little bit too much.
Hey, so again, my name's Jason. Again, I'm the real broker for the firm here. Just tighten it up, it was loose. So pretty much, yeah, the next steps are you get an email, and because you came tonight and because you sign up, we offer a scholarship for the school. That is an online self-paced course that you can take at your own leisure. You've got up to 6 months to finish that course. And that course through Kaplan, so we do the scholarship piece, the school is actually Kaplan, like Daniel was saying. Then you do that at your own pace. The total of it for North Carolina required is 75 hours. So sometime over the next 6 months, you can do it as fast as you'd like or as slow as you'd like. It's purely up to you. You get that whole 6 months to take that class, pass this class test. And then once you pass the class test, then you can sit for the state exam. You get a couple of attempts at the class testing before you can have your state testing. Also, with the state testing, there's a background check, and once you pass the background check, pass the state tests, and then you interview at brokerages. So it's purely up to you. There is not a commitment to us. We don't require you to come on board with us. We just think we have a great office, great team. We also have the great support for you as a new agent to get started in your business with a strong foundation. And that's what we're here for. We think, just like Jason said, the next new rockstar superstar agents are not here yet. They're to become, and we want to support you in that junction. So really, on our side, we're just here as a support team to help you. We want to answer your questions. If you don't understand the process, our main concern for you at this point is purely school. And I see that Amandalin's online. Amandalin's one of our coaches in the office, and we offer sometimes folks that keep their full-time jobs and they work into real estate as they can transition. We do have a coaching program that Amandalin runs for what we call dual career, folks that are still full-time at something else and while their real estate business is taking off. So we do have Amanda, and she's one of our coaches online. So she'll drop in the chat my contact information. You are welcome to at any point reach out to me, ask a question. That's what I'm here for. We're here for purely educating agents. That's our big deal. So and coaching set up with us, that's down the line is when you decide what firm you want to be with and where you fit in. Coaching is just one of the things we offer our agents, in addition to, you know, a ton of the training that we have. We have an Ignite program to kind of spark your career in the right way, and we spend time with you investing in each building block of your business to get you started in the right direction. And then once you finish Ignite, you're equipped with the skill set and tools to actually sell real estate. The school will teach you how to pass the test. It will teach you how to answer legal jargon, those kind of things around North Carolina real estate, as well as national real estate. There's two portions of the test. There's national and state. You have to pass both. So, but I don't want to get too much in the deep weeds of KW. I just want to us be a resource for you to see what kind of questions you might have about school, the scholarship, how do you enroll, what's it look like, what's it feel like, that kind of stuff. So y'all are welcome. And this is my favorite part of the night because I never know what you're going to ask. So you keep me on my toes. And again, um, is the young lady online that interfaced with us, Kanda? Yeah. Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. You did get the link. Perfect. And she can tell you from experience, I responded, did I not?
You did very, very great with that. I really appreciated it.
Oh, anytime. That's what we're here for. Like I say, we are by agents for agents. That's kind of what we believe in here. So even if you're not with us, we're going to have a transaction with you or someone, your brokerage. So that's really what we are. We're kind of a real estate family, whether you're with us or not. So I'm seeing questions on the side, but I don't have glasses. Y'all are gonna have to help me if there's something there. But y'all
I
will raise
did.
your hands and talk. This is real casual, y'all. Make it, I mean, anything you want to ask me, just ask me because that's kind of what we're here for. So
I do have a quick question.
perfect.
So the KW prep course, are you
Yes.
saying that once we receive that link, we're free to just go ahead and start that course?
So KW prep is something KW does. So it's technically not school or not anything. It keeps you motivated along the way, so
Okay.
that it keeps your head in the right space. Like, why am I doing this? What's my big why? What's next for me? How do I plan in advance for my next steps? So that is nothing about, it's all about your mindset and keeping you on target to finish. It's a support course. It's all support from KW. Um, KSCORE is the school. KSCORE is what you have to take 75 hours. KSCORE Kaplan, excuse me, Kaplan is your school, KSCORE, Keller School of Real Estate. Kaplan is your actual school that literally um, you are logging into, taking classes, reading the manual itself. I'm, I'm Southern, so we had a big Bible on our grandmother's table. So the real estate manual looks like one of those.
Okay.
So if you've ever seen one of those, you know what it's like. So a new one comes out every 2 years. So the classes are taught from that book. And part of the scholarship is your electronic version of that. Right? We have access to it. So everything is online, work at your own pace. Now, Kaplan, not KW, Central offers you, if some people learn different ways. Some people are hands-on, they need to hold the paper. Some people are great with digital, work at your own pace. Some people need to go to a class and stand in front of somebody and interact. All of those are great. None of them are wrong. The scholarship program is to work at your own pace online. If you choose that you want an instructor that's online. Huh? Oh, I'm not. There's an additional fee for you. I don't know, 150 bucks. It's not much. It's, yeah. Our scholarship pays for the online version. And that scholarship that we pay for online can be credited towards a class if you want an instructor that's online with you. And you just go to Kaplan and decide what class you want and you pay the difference. Likewise, Kaplan and some schools offer in-person classes Monday, Wednesday, Friday, nights, weekends, whatever. That one Kaplan does not offer and we don't offer a scholarship for. But not that that's not an opportunity that folks can benefit from. So there's a variety of schools out there. So there's online at your own pace. There's a web version, Zoom version, and then there's a in-person class version. None of them are wrong. It depends on how you learn the best. So,
I did forget to mention one thing.
okay.
Talking about the KW Prep versus Kaplan. So you're going to continue to get emails from me as soon as we put you into the Kaplan system. You're going to get a weekly email from us to try to help keep you on pace. And that pace is 11 weeks. It is found that if you work at that pace, it has the highest success rate as far as people completing the course and passing on their first try. Do not be upset if you don't pass on your first try. There's lots of phenomenal agents out there living their best lives that passed 3, 4, 6, 7 times. So don't judge yourself if you don't pass the first time. But we just found the highest success rate was at 11 weeks. So we're going to be sending you out. Not to bombard your email or anything, but once a week, you're going to have, hey, you should be here with KW Prep and here with Kaplan. If you're not, you just know where you are on that slide scale to kind of speed it up, slow it down, what have you, to get in that sweet spot.
I do think what the beauty of the online version is that you can go back to a topic and reread and retake and redo within that 6 months, anything you want. Whereas in class, like if that class was taught and it's in person, we cover that topic and you have that and you keep moving. We don't revisit that again unless we're just at test time and touching base on it or reviewing. So you as an online person can really dig into anything you don't quite understand. The reason I'm so generous with my direct cell phone, which I know someone put in there, and my direct email is if you have a question, because you don't always understand what something means, or that's what I would be glad to help you with or answer for you. So, um, y'all are good. Any other questions? Yeah, I mean, y'all can ask me anything. What's it look like? I've got people making 6 figures that failed the test 7 times. I've got people making less than that passed it on the first time. So, don't judge yourself by someone else's results. The test is not easy. We all test differently, right? The right answer is on the page. It's going to be multiple choice. It's going to be, do the math and figure it out. But again, next to the bar, North Carolina this real estate exam is the number 2 behind it. So, North Carolina, fortunately, is one of the most strict states for real estate, but that's about protecting the consumer. So that's actually a privilege in this state. I don't know if you heard noise about all the lawsuits and this, that, and the other. We didn't have any in North Carolina because we hold ourselves to a high standard with our documents. So we do emphasize a lot in our training, in our education, in our explanations to the client to protect them. And if you ask 10 agents, I would think probably 8 to 9 of them would say I got in this business to help people. And the benefit is you financially reward from it as well. So, all right, y'all can ask me anything. It's open book. What's your name? Anybody? What's your name? Cheyenne? Like Wyoming? Close?
It's SHY.
Oh, okay. Close enough. Something like that. Gotcha. And Christina, KC. See, gotcha. And I see a handful online. If anybody got questions out there, that's what I'd be glad to take them. Look, I mean, I'm good with.
I have another question.
Well, yeah, that's what And if you don't, and look, if you think of something later on, just say, hey, Jason, I thought of this. I didn't ask.
Yeah, so my question was, when it comes to you passing the course, taking all of the state exams, and then now you're looking for a broker, does Keller Williams really assist with that process, especially if you're wanting to stay with Keller Williams? Do you guys help, with locations, versus it being teams, or if you want to do 100%
Sure.
commission, and how does that look once you finally are in that space?
Yeah, so the school, like I say, teaches you to pass the state test, right? Like that's what it does. So now you got a license and now what? So um you to me, I interviewed with three different brokerages, actually four, because I interviewed with two Keller Williams offices, one in one city and one in the sister city. And I went with the Keller Williams that I felt the best feel, the best morale, the best energy. Um, I think when and I will tell you, I made a mistake. I worked for a large department store for 23 years as a store manager. And I showed up to Keller Williams with a suit and my resume to interview, right? Well, it's as much you interviewing the firm as the firm interviewing you to be a part of it. So it's a little bit the dichotomy switch. You're really the agent that hangs your license somewhere. So I encourage you to look at different firms. I encourage you to check their morale, ask them what their training calendar looks like. What do they offer new agents? What are their splits? Do they give me signs and a business card? And like, what do they offer when I sign on? All of those things are great questions. We do a separate segment about joining KW if you're interested in learning more about us particularly. We don't spend a ton of time in this with everything KW, other than I encourage you. Um, I think you will see a difference when you interview at brokerages. We're not all created equal, that's for sure. I'm over training and compliance and legal and licensing. That's kind of what I do. Daniel's over tech. Rivers is over the agent services, and we've got a team of coaches that they work with new agents, and that there is not a fee for that until you actually have a transaction. And it's only a percent of the transaction when that happens. So you get all this great energy, feedback, and input into you and your business that doesn't cost you anything up front until you actually start having a transaction. And then it's not like this drastic, oh my gosh, amount. We don't put you as an avatar running around the globe and taking classes on your own to learn. We teach you in person and we have regular classes on site. We bring instructors like we brought in someone from California to do an entire day around mindset and business building and shifting markets. So we have a class that is taught all over the country. It's called Bold, and it's 7 weeks. It's building a life by design, not just waiting for stuff to happen. It's where you instruct your life, your habits, and your mindset around building a bigger, better life financially and relationships and business. So um, our motto is God, family, then business, and it's in that order. And when we say God, we mean whatever you believe in, higher power, not whatever religion you believe in. All are welcome here. We have a big enough umbrella to do that. We have 180,000 agents in 50 countries. So we didn't get this big without being good at what we do. So I encourage you to check out the differences. So that help?
It does. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
absolutely. Yep, yep. And again, we're all not the same. Like I interviewed a company and I was a training director for 7 stores at one point. And I said, hey, so training was big to me because I was switching from retail, of course, into home sales. And training was important. And I'm like, okay, well, what's your training program like that? And they said, well, we have one. So I'm like, okay, well, what do you have? And they said, well, you shadow an agent and then you and that agent and you work together until you have your first transaction and then we cut you loose. And I'm like, well, cut me loose. Like, what do you mean? Like one transaction and I'm out there on my own. Yeah. So, and that's kind of the way it felt. Like I was pulling teeth about how do I grow here? they didn't have the answers for me that I was looking for. So I knew that wasn't the right fit for me to foster a business I was trying to build. So, um, yeah, I think you'll see differences if you interview different folks. Um, and then again, if you, like I say, um, one of the things that drew me back to here, not to go on and on about KW, is um, one of the things we believe in is we have something for everyone. So we have KW Rainbow Network, we have KW Disability, we have KW Signs, which is the deaf community and how to service that group of clientele. We have KW Arabic, we have KW the Jewish community, we have KW I'm missing Spanish. So we have the Black Real Estate Network. We've got Lady Leaders. Like we have got all those groups within KW that helps you thrive. So that's one of the reasons I've been at two different brokerages, and I came back to be the broker in charge here because I believe in what we do. So good question. Awesome. Kristen, you're on the tip of your tongue. You got anything? Cheyenne? Yeah.
She's usually a talker.
Yeah, but there's, yeah, it's a good question. There's teams, there's structures out there. We foster however you want to set your business up with. And once you pass the test and all those things, we then understand all the dichotomies of how businesses work in real estate, and we coach to that and teach to that. So if you want to be on a team, great. If you want to be a solo agent, great. If you want to be a buyer's agent, great. If you want to be a selling agent, great. That's wonderful. We like all of it. So anybody online? Anybody? Y'all are quiet tonight. That's never this quiet.
Question I've always had,
Sure.
how long do you expect a new agent to get their first transaction?
Good question. So if I wrote a contract today, I'm not going to get paid until 30 to 45 days later, because it takes usually the lenders and the banks or whatever they're working with to fund it that long. So at the fastest you can possibly get a transaction is within 3 weeks with a cash deal. I've seen one at 12 days, but it was because everybody's hair was on fire. And it was cash. So usually you're 30 to 45 days out from a transaction. If you're new in the business, it depends on your circle. So you can Zoom, right? So usually you're right here as agent. This is you. We call this your circle, your immediate circle of influence. Or your sphere of influence, your SOI. So these are the people that know, love, and like you right now. Usually those are your first transactions. Then the next section, these are the friends of your circle. So you may know these people, they're not in your inner circle. That's usually your 3 to 6 transactions. And the more you widen that circle, the bigger your transaction number goes, right? Your goal then is to get people from these outer circles to you. So I've seen people close a deal in their first 60 days. I've seen people close a deal and, I've seen someone struggle a little bit and take 6 months. So it kind of depends on your sphere of influence and how close the next person is to buying. Remember, Jason did that little uphill, like the roller coaster thing he drew? It depends on when you meet someone in their process. So if they just bought, it's going to be 7 to 10 years before they buy again, or if they sell. If your your sphere of influence is close, then you're closer. So if you've got folks that are, usually, like I say, that inner circle of folks, I call them your ride or dies. Like that's if they hear the word real estate in a restaurant, they're going to pass your card over like that's your mom, your cousin, your friend, your husband, spouse, wife, whatever. Um, those are the ones that are selling you as much in real estate as you are usually, and that's usually where your first transactions come from. So usually 2 to 2 to 6 months before you, depending on the person. If you hit it and you're in training and you do what coaching says and what we say, mathematically, we can put you up to success. So typically, so part of it's 180,000 agents. We've got data to support these behaviors create these results. Does that make sense? So if we say, look, these agents are doing X, Y, and Z in their task, we know they create this much result. So that kind of data we can't, no one else can compare to. So that's a good question, actually. That's why we offer dual career. Like some folks don't even offer dual career. Like that, if you're not going to be a full-time agent, they don't want to invest in you. And that's fine with us. We welcome dual career because we know all of us started from somewhere. So if you're not ready in your cycle to just jump into real estate full time and wait 45 days for your first check, that's not for you. You need to still do dual career. That's why we welcome those folks. So, all right, we're close to 7. Not that I want to cut you off, but you can ask me anything. I just don't want to keep you all long. And if you don't want to, if you don't have any questions or anything, I can answer for you. Um, I know my contact is in there. Please don't hesitate if you think of anything or you're like, gosh, I wish I'd asked this. The same emails you're getting will be the same communication that you're used to receiving. And again, it's just kind of to nudge you and help you and guide you to keep going. And if you decide this isn't for you, and you know what, that's great. We don't ask one red cent from you. So we just think there's an opportunity for you to be a part of our family. So anybody else burning questions? Amandalyn, you're coaching. How long? 2 months? 3 months?
Uh, if you go by Karen's plan, you got 30 to 60 days if you hit the boots, hit the ground running,
Yep.
and follow everything. It's a
Yep.
pretty awesome plan.
Yep. If you follow the plan, if you buck the plan, it's going to take longer.
Yep.
The other thing I so wholeheartedly believe in, and was so excited when I came back, was that we used to teach this is what you do and this is get your results. Now we give you a list of like 200 things that say all of these things create results. Pick the one you like to do. Like if I tell you to go knock neighborhoods and knock on doors and say, hey, I'm Jason in real estate, and you hate to do that, are you going to do that? No. If I tell you cold call everybody in the yellow pages, if you dial random numbers in Alamance and you say, "Hey, I'm Jason with Keller Williams," and you don't know what to say, what do I say? What do I say? What do I say? Like that may not be your sweet spot, and you're not going to do it. You'll shut down. I'd much rather you pick something off the list that you love to do. Like there's a lady that likes to throw parties, and her thing is parties. Like she loves it. She loves a gathering. She loves a get together. So what she has built her entire business around is throwing parties, a going away party for all the neighbors for the seller's house. And she's providing the food, the DJ, the drinks, and everyone gets to meet the realtor. And then she throws a party in the new neighborhood for all the new neighbors to get to know the new move-ins. And then she's providing the food, the drinks, the DJ, and whatever. And she's partying on both sides with the clients. Do you think that's wow service to a client? Over and over and again. And do you think she's getting referrals from all those parties? Right? There's another guy that he built a section onto his house during COVID to do podcast, and he's in Orlando. And his thing is, I know everything about Orlando. And his podcast got so popular in Orlando, the mayor actually asked to be on his show because he's going to parks and he's talking to restaurant people and he's going to CEOs of this and he's going to nonprofits of that. And people are on his show every week and he's just podcasting. He happens to sell real estate. So we'd much rather you pick something you like to do and get results than drilling into your head, this is the only way to do it. So that's what I liked a lot.
Just for residential.
So everything is geared towards residential. We have commercial folks in the office. Commercial is a different animal, different documents, different terms, different everything. Can you learn commercial with us? Absolutely. We don't start you there. We start you with residential. Because you have to understand the rules and regs of residential to even fathom commercial to get started. Some people call it, they're practicing resi-mercial. So
And a great plug for one of our awesome coaches, Mike McCann. He got his commercial license last year and is an awesome resource for that.
Yeah.
Him being part of coaching, we really enjoy it. So if commercials in the back of your mind, you got it.
There you go. It's already set up, ready to go.
Yes, basically, that was my question. Do you have to have a separate license for commercial?
It's not a separate license so much as separate training. And then part of Keller Williams, if you want to be listed as a Keller Williams commercial agent, they have a separate search engine for those properties. And they have a separate, what I would call a network of commercial agents that refer around the country. Because that, again, like where we make deposits, they do, they do rent rates and absorption rates and all kinds of things that residential necessarily don't. So. But yeah, the Mike's great at that. And he coaches both. We have 3 full-time coaches. Like that's their primary gig is coaching. So yep, all good questions. Anybody else? Have you got them all muted, Daniel? What have you done?
Yeah, that's it.
um,
Like number one advice for someone who's in the class right now.
number one advice in the class right now. Mine, ooh, that's a good one. So one, if you know why you're doing it, that's your driver to keep you committed to doing it and be successful. So that's one. And then 2 would be don't get distracted. Don't let outside noise keep you from being successful. And and I would say the biggest thing for any realtor, all of us, is our mindset. Like, we didn't get up today to like not know where I was going. Like I knew I was getting in the car, taking a shower, coming to Keller Williams this morning. I knew that we had a training class, we had a meeting, we had a Zoom this afternoon. Like I had intent. So without focus around why I'm doing this and my intent to be successful at it, and I don't listen to out noise that the naysayers, like we always have that little thing on the back of our shoulder is like, well, you can't do that. Well, so and so did it. She's better. He's better. We judge like, look at that, look at those results, and we see the duck gliding across the water, not them pedaling like crazy underneath. And we compare ourselves to others' results, and we have no idea what they're going through. And each person's motivation is different. Like it may be your kids, it may be you want to pay off your house, it may be your grandkids and you want to put them through college, it may be you want to work towards retirement. There are so many reasons why you do what you do as a realtor. And it's different for each person. We can't define it for you. You have to decide what's your motivator. It has to be big enough, and it's like that big, hairy, fat, audacious goal that you didn't think you could ever make. Your why has to be big enough to drive you to get up out every day, get up, show up, and dress up. So, Mandolin, what's your number one? That's a good one. What I said? No. Hey, I saw a T-shirt that's, oh my gosh, I bet I shouldn't tell y'all. Etsy, somebody sent me a T-shirt that said, "If it doesn't work out, try what Jason told you to do in the first place." And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna wear that to the team meeting. But then I was afraid they might throw me out of it. So Mandolin, what do you think? What's your best advice, you think? You got a big one?
I'm with Jason. Go interview a ton of firms and
Yeah.
ask about their training, what they offer new agents. And I think the decision will be very easy for you. I am glad this is who I came to, Keller Williams, and I'm not leaving. They're gonna have to drive me out here. So go do your research and we'll see you in a bit.
Yeah. And again, to get your cart rolling in the right direction though is your school. And we think everyone should have an equal shot at that. That's why we offer scholarships to anybody. We don't, anybody can, we will support anyone that wants to go through school. That's why we think a single mom has the opportunity as a six-figure executive at a company. We don't think anyone should be excluded from the opportunity that we can build together. That's why we offer the scholarship program, honestly. So we don't care where you are, who you are, where you're from, what you look like, how old you are, what kind of education you have. None of that. We care that you want to do something about your own personal career path with real estate, and we want to support you in that. So that's really what we do every day. I just got back from vacation and I posted something on Facebook in our group, and one of our agents said, "Jason, you're on vacation. Stop it." So, um, but yeah, that's it. And your why may change. Like your why may be get out of debt. Well, what do you do when you get out of debt? I mean, your why's got to be big enough. Wait, I'm making too much money. I don't have debt now. So, well, exactly. Like, what do you do with it if if your why's not big enough, it won't drive you. So, um, yeah. So, like I say, it could be your kids through school. Well, they get through school, and now what? Your why's got to change. So you've got to change your mindset to keep up with what's making you motivated. So, yep. Anybody else? Hey, you guys are awesome. Kanita, if you've got my contact, any of the other, I don't have my glasses, and her and I have interacted already. So any of you all, if you need me, you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out. You've got the team that runs KSCORE in the office. Daniel and Rivers are behind that. So there are real people. It's not automated, just sending you something that say, "Hey, how are you doing? Check up." No, they are real people that can answer your questions or get you to me so I can answer your question. And that's what we're here for, is to support you. Even though you're not a part of us yet, we want you, if you want to be a realtor, we want to give you that opportunity. So, but
Thank you guys so
yeah.
much.
Hey, I appreciate each one of you. And like I say, don't hesitate if you need us, right? Look for the emails for your registration to Kaplan.
Yes.
Kaplan. And that email will have your
Okay.
discount code for you to go on and log in and do your deal. You're gonna be good.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yay. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.